Hey, friends out there, this is Thursday, August 10th, 2023, and it is just about 5:41 in the morning here in Northern California. And as usual, I'll talk about a few things today. I hope everybody's doing as well as they can in a crazy ass world run by excuse me, maniacal, money-loving madmen bent on misery for masses. Yes, friends, they need to leave huge swaths of the population out of the loop, so to speak. In other words, never able to get ahead. And this has been the story all through history. When these people conspire, they collude, and they don't even have to talk about it. It's just an unwritten evil rule that these people engage in. We notice we keep on creating more multi-billionaires and multi-millionaires, and yet it's harder and harder for people to have a little slice of the pie in terms of financial security, home ownership, a true sense of financial freedom, a true sense of financial security, being out of financial fear. And this is historically what has invoked bloody warfare in the past, in history. Now, we're living in a different time in history, and I'm glad we are. I really am, because we're not looking at a bloody revolution on planet Earth. We're looking at a divine revolution, at none less than the power of the hand of the Most High God, and He's working through human beings. And I'd like to be a little tiny part. That's all I care to be. I don't want to be anybody special. I like being a nobody. I mean, who in their right mind wants to be better than anybody else's if we could? We're all equally beloved. But just to be a little part of what's really important to convey to the population, like you're priceless, you're invaluable to the one that owns you. That's so fundamental to understand, for everybody to understand, that you're a precious treasure to God. Your soul, He loves you, and He's never going to stop loving you, no matter how evil you become or how distant or how much you want nothing to do with God. He still loves you like a parent loves their child. Even more so, they concern themselves with a wayward child. So God never gives up on any of us. He loves us even when we feel unlovable, unlikable. It's very important to know that we are a precious treasure to God. It really is. And for me, it's about vindicating God's name, because I see how easy it can be maligned. I do. I see what seemingly sound basis an agnostic or an atheist or just somebody that's indifferent about their stand on whether or not there's a God, a loving, all-powerful creator God, all good. And that would be all the organic problems that we all face. I mean, just the idea of aging. Really, what's happening is your body is aging. But in your heart, your mind, your spirit, your soul, you can be very young at heart, like a child. And that's what we are called on to be, childlike, not childish. We should mature, be on the right track at least, and say, God, I got to grow somehow through this issue or that issue. I've got all these issues. We all do, personal issues, and then we've got external issues, dealing with the world, that's this artificial construct of misery that we're all faced to face. We all have to face it. This is what we face as human beings. a crazy ass world, but run by maniacal, money loving madmen. They're haters. I'm telling you, they don't care about people. They care about worldly things. And worldly things don't include a lot of collateral in their minds. I mean, they're twisted people that run the show. Okay? It's their talent. That's why they do it. Normal people don't have a talent for forsaking their conscience. We care. For good reason, we care about conscience. That's healthy. And for me, one of the biggest problems I have in simply enjoying my sense of joy and just appreciation of life and of, even though it is temporary, I can go to God with my concerns about death, and I can talk it over with the one that owns me, with the one that has the power to give me a new body, an eternal body, one that can't be harmed, can't be threatened by anything, and live in a vastly better world where there's no external, artificial, invented problems, where evil people aren't running the show. That's the one we can go to. That's always there for us, always around you. Just invite them in, invite her in. The Creator God Almighty, we created them in our image, in our likeness, male and female. First chapter of the Bible explains the nature of God. It's awesome. So that's the most important thing I could do, and vindicating God's name. I mean, look, we could have been just automatons, basically like all the other animals on earth. But we're unique in that we're in the image and likeness of God. We are very special with a virtually inexhaustible imagination and the ability to make manifest, as seen through overwhelming empirical evidence to that truth, to that fact, all around us. I mean, look at all the accumulated technology. It didn't happen overnight. Just look where we were 100 years ago technologically, and the infrastructure. This is because God gave us the ability, God gave us the wherewithal to create all these things. We are in the image and likeness of God. So why do we, with this far superior intelligence and imagination than all the other creatures, have all these problems? Why is it that all the other creatures can live fine without any form of money? No bartering system at all. They see it through God's eyes instinctively. We've lost that. Our foreparents lost that. This Adam and Eve, whatever these people are a metaphor for, and this forbidden fruit, this knowledge of good and evil, whatever these are metaphors for, allegories, whatever, okay? Because we got to see beyond. We've got to step outside the box and always try to see the biggest picture through God's eyes and lens, and see ourselves as what we are, God's literal children, children of God, making us like little gods of the Most High God. But free will choice was essential. Otherwise, we would be just like all the other animals. We wouldn't be these super unique, super special creatures called human beings. People want to cheapen the human existence, and I think, God, that saddens me to no end. This idea, oh, you're just another warm body, the Earth's overpopulated, you cut your carbon footprint, and it'd be better if a lot of people died because it'd be good for the planet. This whole spirit, this mentality, this attitude that prevails on earth is just so evil and vile. I mean, the real estate, take a drive out in the hill. Listen, there's no shortage of real estate even to this day on planet Earth. We all know, look at all these charities. Feed the children, do this, do that. Oh, the charities support Habitat for Humanity. And, pay your taxes so you can spend 50 billion a year on Section 8 housing to house poor people that can't afford their housing. These essential human needs, right? So it's not a shortage of stuff. We got plenty of food on the planet, plenty of housing. It's just money. There's constant, perpetual shortage of money, right? The scam, the scheme, the fraud, the lies, the cheating, the theft, the murders at the hands of these wicked people who are twisted in their minds. They're sick, they're perverted. To think that they are in any way more deserving than anybody else is evil. Look at this world. We're all born into an entirely unlevel playing field. See, the only answer is to be born into understanding from God's point of view, not a religious point of view, just from a cosmic, logical, simple point of view. This is God's planet. We didn't create it. We are God's equally beloved children. We didn't create ourselves. What would you do if you were God and you got 8 billion children? You're going to say you can invent money so that they can be at each other's throats? And you could have this tremendously unlevel playing field, all this unfairness and injustice wanton throughout the land. And who cares? Your life is perfect. You're loaded with dough. Who cares? How can you enjoy it? You value your conscience. You value your soul. How dare you? God's watching. You're trying to be somebody. You're trying to please your owner. How else are you going to find true happiness? There's all kinds of phony pseudo-happiness in this world. People are delusional. They think they got it going on because they reached middle class, upper middle class, or wealthhood, whatever it is. Okay, they're sick and twisted. I do not envy these people. How dare you enjoy your prosperity? Well, better men and women than you. Better to presume there are better men and women than us, suffering needlessly, out in the cold, sometimes dying, at the hands of these monsters that are running the show for us, dictating our reality from birth. You got a cost of living to pay, boy, and don't you figure out that that's the tax. That's the real tax. It's on the backs of the poor. Don't you figure that out? We need to keep getting away with this thing. Keep you stupid, dumbed down, confused, and disempowered, and disunited at each other's throats. We need this wealth imbalance. We need a lot of people that are pissy and frustrated with their lives, but just conform, capitulate, because what are you going to do? Are you going to be the next guy slithering under a bridge in your soiled clothing? Is that going to be you? Because obviously there's not enough welfare for everybody. We need more money. Maybe we need to raise your taxes. Even though all that $50 billion every year has just made the problem of affordable housing worse and worse. This while we spend $100,000 a year in California approximately per inmate per year